Some men wear wedding rings like decorations, not commitments. They don't realize that every time they cheat, they're not just breaking vows, they're breaking the woman who loved them enough to say, I do. If you saw Chief Emeka driving his big jeep through the streets of Lagos, you would think he was the happiest man in the world. His car was always shining like new money. His clothes were the finest anyone could buy. His shoes were imported from Italy. His wristwatch cost more than what some families spent in 1 year. Everyone called him Chief because he had plenty of money. But money cannot buy a good heart. Chief Emeka was married to a woman named Adanna. She was beautiful, kind, and patient. Too patient, some would say. Her eyes were soft and gentle, the kind of eyes that had seen too much pain but still held hope. Her smile was beautiful, but those who knew her well could see the sadness hiding behind it. Adanna had been married to Chief Emeka for 7 years. In those 7 years, she had suffered quietly. Everyone in their neighborhood knew that Chief Emeka was a cheating man. He had different women in different parts of the city. Some weeks, he would not even come home to sleep. When neighbors asked Adanna where her husband was, she would make up stories about business trips and important meetings. But everyone knew the truth. They had seen Chief Emeka at the shopping mall with a young girl who was not his wife. They had seen him at expensive restaurants feeding another woman. They had seen him coming out of hotels with women who dressed in tight clothes and heavy makeup. The shame followed Adanna everywhere she went. When Chief Emeka did come home, he would shout at Adanna for small things. If the food was not hot enough, he would scatter the plates on the floor. If the soup was too salty, he would pour it on the ground and command her to clean it up. If she asked him where he had been, he would call her terrible names that made her cry. Names like useless woman, foolish wife, and worse things that should never come from a husband's mouth. Sometimes, when he was very angry, he would push her. Once, he slapped her so hard that her lip bled. Adanna cleaned the blood quietly and never told anyone. She was ashamed, she was embarrassed. But most of all, she was afraid. Afraid of being poor again. Adanna's mother would visit and see the sadness in her daughter's eyes. She would see how Adanna jumped nervously whenever Chief Emeka's car pulled into the compound. She would notice the way Adanna's hands shook when she served her husband food. My daughter, why are you staying with this man? Her mother asked one day when they were alone in the kitchen. He does not respect you. He treats you like a housekeeper, not a wife. He embarrasses you in front of everybody. The whole village hears about his behavior. Leave him and come home. But Adanna would shake her head, her eyes filling with tears. Mama, where will I go? I have no job. I have no money of my own. I did not finish university because I married Chief Emeka. Chief Emeka gives me money for food, for clothes, for everything. He pays for this big house. He bought me this gold jewelry. If I leave him, how will I survive? Her mother sighed deeply, the kind of sigh that comes from a heart full of worry. My child, you can learn a trade. You can sell things in the market like I did. You can learn to make hair. You can learn to sew clothes. You have 2 hands and a good brain. Many women are making their own money these days. Look at Ngozi, your friend. She started with nothing and now she has her own shop. Mama, I am used to this life now, Adanna said, looking around the big kitchen with its expensive refrigerator and gas cooker. She looked at her expensive shoes and gold jewelry. I cannot go back to suffering. I cannot go back to trekking long distances because there is no money for transport. I cannot go back to eating 1 meal a day. At least, Chief Emeka gives me money. At least I live in comfort. Her mother touched her daughter's face gently. My daughter, comfort that comes with pain is not real comfort. You are dying slowly inside. I can see it. A golden cage is still a cage. But Adanna had made up her mind. She would stay, she would endure, she would manage. So Adanna stayed. She endured the cheating. She endured the insults. She endured the shame of people whispering about her husband's other women. As long as the money kept coming, she convinced herself that she could manage. She told herself that many women were going through worse. At least she had food to eat. At least she had a roof over her head. At least she could buy nice things. Her friend Ngozi would warn her too. Ngozi had opened a small restaurant near the market. She had started with just a table and a pot of jollof rice. Now, 5 years later, she had 3 workers and was making good money. She was not rich like Chief Emeka, but she was comfortable, and most importantly, she was free. Adanna, this is not good, Ngozi would say. Whenever they met, money is not everything. Your peace of mind is important. Your health is important. Your dignity is important. Look at me. I am not driving a big car like you, but I sleep well at night. Nobody insults me. Nobody embarrasses me. I work hard, and the money I make is my own money. But Adanna would just smile sadly and say, you don't understand, Ngozi. You don't understand what it means to grow up with nothing. You don't understand the fear of going back to that life. I cannot do it. I cannot. The months turned into years. Chief Emeka became bolder with his cheating. He would bring his girlfriends to hotels where people knew him. He did not care who saw him. Sometimes, he would not come home for 3 days. When he finally returned, he would not even apologize. He would just throw money at Adanna and tell her to go and buy herself something nice. Adanna heard the stories from neighbors, from market women, from everyone. They would tell her about seeing Chief Emeka with a new young girl. They would describe the girl's clothes, her hairstyle, everything. Some women told her out of concern. Others told her because they enjoyed the gossip. Each time, Adanna's heart would break a little more, but she would wipe her tears, put on her expensive clothes and makeup, and pretend everything was fine. She would go to church on Sunday and sit in the front row with her head held high, even though she could feel people staring at her and whispering. She became very good at pretending. One Saturday morning, Chief Emeka did not come home again. Adanna waited for him all night. She called his phone many times, but he did not answer. She was worried, but she was also used to it by now. On Sunday morning, he finally came home. His clothes were wrinkled. His eyes were red. He smelled of alcohol and perfume that was not Adanna's perfume. Where have you been? Adanna asked quietly. Chief Emeka looked at her with anger in his eyes. Woman, who are you to question me? Am I a child? I am a man. I can go wherever I want. But Chief, I was worried. You did not even call. Before she could finish speaking, Chief Emeka grabbed a glass cup from the table and threw it at the wall. It shattered into many pieces. Adanna jumped back in fear. You are worried. You are worried, he shouted. What about my own worries? Do you know how hard I work to make money? Do you know the stress I go through every day and I cannot even rest and enjoy myself small? Adanna began to cry quietly. I am sorry, Chief. I did not mean to upset you. He pushed past her and went into the bedroom, slamming the door behind him. Adanna stood in the living room, surrounded by expensive furniture and broken glass, and she cried. She cried for herself. She cried for the young girl she used to be, the girl who had dreams and hopes. She cried for the life she had given up for comfort. But even then, she did not leave. Then one day, everything changed. It started with small things. Adanna began feeling sick. At first, it was just tiredness. She would sleep for many hours, but still wake up feeling like she had not rested at all. She thought maybe she was just getting older or maybe she was stressed. Then the body ache started. Her joints would hurt. Her muscles would ache like she had been working on a farm all day, even though she had done nothing. Then came the fever. It would come and go. Some days she felt fine. Other days, the fever was so high that she could not get out of bed. She would wrap herself in blankets and shake with cold, even though the weather was hot. She also noticed that she was losing weight. Her clothes were becoming loose. Her face was getting thinner. People started asking her if she was okay. Adanna, you are looking so slim. Are you sick? Her neighbors would ask. No, I am fine, just dieting, she would lie with a smile. But she knew something was wrong. She went to their family doctor, Dr. Obi. He was a kind man who had been treating Chief Emeka's family for many years. His clinic was in a quiet street in Ikeja. Dr. Obi examined her carefully. He asked her many questions about her symptoms. Then he said, Adanna, I need to run some tests. I want to check everything to make sure we know what is wrong. Adanna nodded. Yes, doctor. Please do whatever tests you need. They took her blood. They tested her for malaria, typhoid, and many other things. Dr. Obi told her to come back in 3 days for the results. Those 3 days felt like 3 years. Adanna could not sleep well. She kept wondering what was wrong with her. She prayed every night, asking God to let it be something simple, something that medicine could fix quickly. On the third day, she went back to the clinic. Dr. Obi called her into his office. His face was very serious. That was when Adanna knew that something was really wrong. Adanna, sit down, Dr. Obi said gently. I need to tell you something important. Adanna's heart started beating very fast. Her hands were shaking. What is it, doctor? Am I dying? Dr. Obi took a deep breath. Adanna, the test results show that you have HIV. For a moment, Adanna did not understand. The words sounded strange, like they were in a different language. HIV. She had heard about it before. She had seen posters about it at the hospital. But it was something that happened to other people, not to her. What? How is that possible? She finally said, her voice shaking. Doctor, there must be a mistake. I have only been with my husband, only Chief Emeka. I have never been with any other man. Dr. Obi nodded slowly. His eyes were full of sadness. I know, Adanna. I believe you. That is why we need to test Chief Emeka too. He needs to come in for testing as soon as possible. Adanna felt like the world had stopped moving. The room started spinning. She could not breathe properly. But, how? Adanna, HIV is transmitted through contact with infected blood or through intimate relations. If you have not been with anyone else, then your husband may have contracted it from someone else and passed it to you. The truth hit Adanna like a thunderbolt. All those women, all those girlfriends, all those nights when Chief Emeka did not come home, one of them had given him HIV, and he had given it to her. Adanna began to cry. Not quiet tears like she usually cried. This time, she wailed. She sobbed loudly. Her whole body was shaking. Dr. Obi let her cry. He gave her tissues and water. After some time, when she was calmer, he said, Adanna, I know this is difficult news, but you must bring Chief Emeka in for testing. And I want you to know that HIV is not a death sentence anymore. There is medication that can help you live a long and normal life. But Adanna was not hearing him. All she could think about was how she had destroyed her life for money. How she had stayed with a man who did not love her, who did not respect her, who had now given her a disease that she would carry for the rest of her life. When she got home, Chief Emeka was there. He was sitting in the living room watching television and drinking beer. Chief, we need to talk, Adanna said quietly. He did not even look at her. Talk about what? I am watching football. Chief, it is important, very important. Something in her voice made him turn to look at her. He saw that she had been crying. What is wrong now? Are you crying again? Is that all you know how to do? Chief, I went to the hospital. Dr. Obi ran some tests. She paused, trying to find the courage to say the words. I have HIV. Chief Emeka jumped up from his chair. What? What nonsense are you talking about? It is true, Chief. Dr. Obi wants you to come for testing too. Chief Emeka's face changed. For a moment, fear flashed in his eyes. Then he became angry. You are lying. You are the one who must have brought this disease into my house. You unfaithful woman. Chief, you know I have never been with anyone else. Only you. Only you. They went to Dr. Obi's clinic together the next day. The tension between them was thick enough to cut with a knife. When they tested Chief Emeka, the results showed he also had HIV. Dr. Obi sat them down and explained everything. You both have HIV. Chief Emeka, based on your medical history and the stage of the infection, it appears you contracted it first and transmitted it to your wife. Chief Emeka could not deny it. The evidence was clear. But even then, he did not seem very worried. He just shrugged. Okay, so what do we do now? We will manage it. We have money. We will buy the medicine. Adanna stared at him in disbelief. He had given her a deadly disease, and all he could say was, we will manage. That night, Adanna sat in their big house, surrounded by all the expensive things his money had bought. The big television, the leather sofa, the golden curtains, the expensive chandelier. All these things suddenly looked meaningless to her. She cried. She cried for all the years she had wasted. She cried for choosing money over her dignity. She cried for the life she could have had if she had been brave enough to walk and stand on her own feet like Ngozi. She cried for her health, her future, everything she had lost. Her mother came to visit when she heard the news. The old woman's heart was broken for her daughter. She held Adanna as she cried. "My daughter," her mother said softly, tears running down her own face. I told you that money is not everything, but you did not listen." "I know, Mama," Adanna sobbed. "I know now, but it is too late. It is too late for me." "It is not too late to learn the lesson," her mother said. "It is not too late to warn other women who are making the same mistake you made." Ngozi also came to see her. She sat beside her friend and held her hand. When she heard what had happened, she cried too. "Adanna, my dear friend," Ngozi said, wiping her tears, "I am so sorry this happened to you. But listen to me carefully. It is not too late." "How can you say that?" Adanna asked. "I have HIV now. I will have this disease for the rest of my life." "Yes, you have HIV," Ngozi said firmly, "but you can still take your medicine and live a long life. Many people with HIV are living normal lives now. Dr. Obi told you this. And Adanna, it is not too late to start living for yourself. Start that business you always talked about. You used to say you wanted to sell clothes. Do it. Stand on your own feet. Stop depending on a man who does not value you." Adanna looked at her friend with tears in her eyes. "But I am afraid, Ngozi. I don't know how to start." "I will help you," Ngozi promised. "I will teach you everything I know. But you have to be willing to try. You have to be willing to work. You have to be willing to stop depending on Chief Emeka." For the first time in 7 years, Adanna began to think that maybe, just maybe, Ngozi was right. Maybe it was time to save herself. That night, as she lay in bed next to Chief Emeka, who was snoring loudly without a care in the world, Adanna made a decision. She would start her life again. She would learn to stand on her own feet. She would never again let fear of poverty trap her in a situation that destroyed her dignity and her health. It would not be easy, she knew that, but nothing could be harder than what she had already endured. Tomorrow, she would begin. Tomorrow, she would start saving herself. 3 months passed. Adanna started taking her HIV medication every day. The medicine was expensive, but she was determined to live. She also started her own business. Ngozi helped her buy clothes to sell in the market. At first, Adanna was shy. She was embarrassed that people would see the wife of Chief Emeka selling clothes like a common trader. But slowly, she stopped caring what people thought. Chief Emeka was angry when he found out. "My wife, selling in the market, you are embarrassing me." "You embarrassed yourself," Adanna replied calmly. "You embarrassed me for 7 years. Now I am saving myself." Her business grew slowly. She made small money at first, but it was her own money. Money she earned with her own hands. It felt different. It felt good. 6 months later, Adanna moved out of Chief Emeka's house. She rented a small room for herself. It was not big or fancy, but it was peaceful. No shouting, no insults, no fear. Chief Emeka begged her to come back. "Who will take care of me? Who will cook for me?" "Take care of yourself," Adanna said. "Find one of your girlfriends to help you." Today, 2 years later, Adanna owns a small shop. She's not rich, but she's healthy and happy. She takes her medicine faithfully. She works hard every day. She sleeps peacefully every night. Chief Emeka's health got worse because he refused to take his medication regularly. He lost most of his money to gambling and bad business deals. Now he is the one suffering. Adanna's mother visits her shop often. She is proud of her daughter. "Mama," Adanna said one day, "I wish I had listened to you from the beginning." Her mother smiled. "The important thing is that you listened eventually. You saved yourself." Adanna learned her lesson the hard way. She learned that no amount of money is worth losing your dignity, your health, and your peace of mind. She learned that a woman must be able to stand on her own feet. And now, she shares her story with other women. She tells them, "Don't make my mistake. Don't stay in suffering because of money. Work hard. Make your own money. Save yourself before it is too late." Moral of the story: money cannot buy peace, health, or dignity. Every woman should be able to stand on her own feet and never depend completely on a man, no matter how rich he is. Your life is more valuable than comfort that comes with pain. If this story touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories about love, family, and life lessons. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads. Thank you for watching.